That's why you're sitting in this class. I want to get you to that point.
I'm a very good salesperson, though.
Okay, I don't want you to be a salesperson. I want you to be just mom and pop shopper coming along looking at your store.
Well, that's what I do. I just normally strike up conversation. It's usually a very personable event.
Right. So you walk into your store and you have no idea this woman. Be the client, be the customer for a moment. So Erica, yeah, thanks for coming to my shop. I really appreciate it. How'd you hear about it, blah, blah. So let me ask you something. What's most important to you about having a dress today? Now, again, it depends upon the criteria that I list from her. What's most important to you about having this dress? Or what's most important to you about buying a dress?
Looking good.
You want to look good. Wow, cool. So what's most important to you about looking good? Just out of curiosity, just wondering.
It makes me look thin.
It makes you look thin. Oh, cool. So what's most important to you about looking thin?
Okay, like that would never happen.
Yes, it would. Trust me, because if I have enough rapport, and again, it's a setup here, and you know I'm doing it to you.
Correct.
How many of I've said things, go try it out in the real world like she just did, and it goes right over people's, it goes right through them. They have no clue. Because I have enough rapport, they're inside their head. I'm putting them inside their head. So you're looking for a dress that looks good. It makes you thin. So what's important about you looking good and being thin?
My husband likes it.
So let me ask you a question. If I can find a dress for you that's going to make you look good, that's going to make you look thin, and your husband's going to love it, would you buy it today?
Sure. But I don't have my credit card.
First thing we're going to need is your credit card. What's your social security?
She didn't ask. She said nothing about money. If she would have said,
At the end of it said, oh, but I'm walking, so I don't have my credit card. I'll be back later.
say great, thank you.
But she would be back later.
She probably would. Yeah.
Practice this on every single day.
Eric?
Practice and practice.
I do, guys. That's why I opened a store. This is what I do.
What I've found about most people in sales, and I fall into it occasionally as well, is that we make up stories in our head that justify us not trying to be our best. So like in that situation, it's like, well, yeah, but even if I got them to accept to buy the dress, she probably doesn't have a credit card. So then why try?
Self-limiting beliefs.
You know, why ask for the sale? Why go the extra mile? Why ask them about their kids? Because they're probably not going to buy anything, and then I care about this person, and then they're just going to leave, and I'm not going to have a customer, so why care about the person?
And what happens?
I'm just going to get hurt.
Right, and then, hey, this happens actually even before they start asking questions.
Yeah.
As soon as they walk in, you go, oh, that's not the kind of person that's going to buy my dress.
I never do that.
Look, I'm not saying, I'm just saying the majority of us.
It's set up. That's not how I would actually talk to someone.
Okay, that's true. Okay, hold on. We don't know that, so I'm just presupposing. So in a general sales setting, I'm just telling you what works. This stuff works. Is you uncover, and you want to say it 3 times. Okay, you want to say it 3 times. Ask it 3 times. You don't ask it, so what's important to you about the dress? So what's important to you about the dress? So what's important to you about, yeah, that would annoy somebody. You may put some space in there. Say, oh, that's really cool. So you obviously came in here to look good. Let him, yeah, I saw that, great. Let me ask you, what's important to you about looking good? Well, I want to be thin. Oh, I love that. It's being thin. It's never being too thin, too rich, or too happy, right? So let me ask you, but this is just me, though. What's important to you about being thin? My husband loves it. Great, I just listed her buying strategy, what's most important to her, in about 3 minutes. If I spend some time with her, not in me, with her, and serving her. With all my intent of serving her, and doing it with integrity and rapport, you are doing it because now you trust me. We first trusted each other, then I can go there. Remember? His wife said, the whole beginning of this process, 90% of it, is about building the bridge. This is meaningless if I don't have rapport. It's meaningless.
So can I ask you something?
Yes.
Do you think you could sell women?
On what?
Let's say the way you're doing this, if you could use this strategy, would you build rapport with women who, let's say, have issues with their weight?
Yeah, I'm really good at it. And not because I'm good at this business, because I grew up with 3 sisters.
Okay.
So I'm able to key into their emotions a little bit more than I think most men, and my sensory acuity skills, as we were talking about before, my radar's open like this to everything that's going on in the environment all the time. And so I'm noticing inflections in your voice, the way you move, how you say things, specific words, your breathing, your predicate, all of that is playing into your map, your world. And if I'm able to step into your world, all I have to do is this something that you'd like to have? Well, of course it's going to be, because it's her world. How could she say no? How could she go, no, I don't want to look good, I don't want to be too thin, and I want my husband to like me? What is she going to say no? She already said that. So now in her evidence procedure, in her world, her brain has to go, of course, because that's what I have to look for in my outside world to prove I'm right. And so everything you just gave me in a way that is congruent for both of us serves you. And once I serve it back to you, you're going to go, yes, of course. Now, there's other objections that come up, blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that in a second. Jackie.
So basically, you're just serving her. You're not selling.
Hey, I can't, look,
Right.
no way in God's green earth you could ever be sold anything. Ever. They have to buy it. And the only reason they're going to buy it is because of two things. It matches their criteria, second, and they feel good about the situation they're in, which is first. So this elicits criteria. These are the key words that you want to focus on. Focus on. What's important to them, it uncovers the criteria, a list of what's important. It's the criteria they originally want to satisfy. Except guess what? They don't know what that criteria is because they didn't walk in going, oh, here's my list. Just in case you wanted to know, I need to be thin and I need to look good and my husband's got to be happy about it. Just in case you wanted to know. In case you wanted to sell me something. I'm just, because I like buying shit.
And most of them just know what they don't want. They don't even.
They know what they don't want, and they have some, again, 80% of all people have some kind of internal representation of what they want. You need to uncover that. And this is a way to uncover it. This is only one way, okay? It's only one way. Ask them what's most important. If you do it congruently, and you do it with rapport, you can ask it 100 times, just in different ways, and build a list of 100 things that they want. If you can satisfy all of those, and it presupposes that I can satisfy all those, like if I can't, I'm just feeding something just to prove that I'm a good salesman and I need to get paid at the end of the week, and it's my numbers, it's not a win-win. They're going to feel it, right?
And if all you sell is dresses that make people look fat, that's not cool.
That's not good either, right? Doesn't serve you.
Just to sell a dress.
Just to sell a dress.
Like, you need to go next door.
I could never sell something if they don't feel good in it.
Well, you couldn't sell something you didn't feel good selling something to,
Correct.
right? So that's where it starts. That's your higher level, you see? Yeah, how much you got? How much money? So here's find the requirement. Find the requirement. Asking the right question, find the requirement. What has to be there in order for this to happen to you? There's different ways of asking this. How did you know it was time to buy? How did you know it was time to buy? And this is eliciting the strategy of how they did it in the past. Because most people, we do things out of habit. They're going to form somewhat the same buying strategies. So if they've bought a dress before, I want to know. So have you ever bought a dress like this before? Oh yeah. Where was it? Get them into their store. So how did you know it was the right time to buy that dress? Or what made you decide to buy that dress? Blah, 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 blah. They're going to give you a list and criteria. Oh, okay, that's interesting. What's most important about buying a dress? Blah, blah, blah. Now you have more and more lists of criteria. If you can fill it, and some of those very vague and, what's the word I'm looking for? Higher chunks of information like being thin. That's a relative perspective, right? I mean, something that their husband's going to appreciate, you don't know that until you get the dress home. So you're going to tap into their reassurance strategy. No matter what he does, he's going to love you no matter what, even if he doesn't like the dress. He's going to love you, so that means he's going to love you in the dress. Right? I'm going to feed that forward. Right? How did you decide to buy X the last time, whatever that was? These are just different ways. What stops you, preventing you from buying something today, or whatever that is? And again, you have to have rapport to do this. You're going to find out what their objections are, because then you can satisfy them if you can. So I don't believe in selling something they don't need. Right? Well, a lot of sales trainings, they'll tell you, well, here's how to overcome all these objections. Well, that's great and everything, but that presupposes then that you're giving them something that they don't really want. Now, if they really want it and they really need it, that's a different story. If you can fulfill the need, then that's a great thing. Then it's a win-win for both of you. and this is a great question, which we call chunking, in NLP we call chunking. It's called, for what purpose? For what purpose would you like to have this dress? You're going to start, they're not going to get more specific, they're going to get more general and more vague. And it's easier to fill something more vague than it is something more specific. Like something vague is, well, my husband's going to like it. That's right, he could. Getting more specific is, it's got to be a size 6, and I got to fit in it. That's going to be harder to fulfill. Or 2 or 10, whatever. I mean, they're just numbers, right? And then, what will this allow you to do? That's a great question. What will this allow you to do? Having this product, what will this allow you to do? What does that presuppose?
Future.
But what does it presuppose?
As soon as the sale.
As soon as the sale. But what does allow them to do? What do they have to do?
They have to see themselves in the future.
Yes, they got to see themselves owning the product, already having it, using it, working it, owning it. And they got to go, wow, this is going to allow me to do blah, 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 blah that I couldn't do before without your product. They actually have to try it on. It's called future pacing. That's part of the next piece. Link their need to your service or product.
Put them in the car.
Well, not so much put them in the car. You can do this verbally. You can do this over the phone. So, if this is something, which is a command, this is something, if this is something I can provide or give you, blah, 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 criteria, blah, 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 would this be something you're interested in having or using or buying today? If you uncover the criteria and you met their needs, then put them in the car. This is putting them in the car. This has to put them in the problem or the solution that you're trying to convey. They have a need, they have a problem. This is solving it linguistically. It's putting them in the solution of the problem that they came into your store to solve. They have a problem. They need a dress. They want to look good. She wants to look skinny. She wants her husband to like her or love her or be appreciated. Whatever that is, that's her problem. Your solution. So, if I, and again, I would put those words in the strategy, in this verbal strategy. So, if this dress, this specific dress, can give you, if you can feel like you can look good and it's going to make you look thin, your husband's going to like it, will this be something you're interested in buying today? I'm not telling her it's interested. It's the word interested. Is this something you'd be interested? Of course, how could they say no? Of course I'm interested. It doesn't mean that they're going to buy it, does it? But guess what? It's commitment. It's commitment. Yes, it would be something great. Now we know they're committed, or at least more committed. And again, 80% establish value to the solution, then match the needs. The last is ask for the sale.
Did you go over the, wouldn't it be nice to need? Is that what you were just going over? Right?
Wouldn't it be nice to finally and satisfy the need?
Like 1, 2, 3?
Like that could be the criteria, but what is it that they came in to solve? What's the problem?
To finally have a dress that your husband likes that makes you look skinny.
Well, that may be part of the criteria, but really what could be more important than that, or higher level chunk, may be something completely different than that. It's just, it's just about me feeling good in the dress. Right. Wouldn't this be nice to finally feel good in a dress that you really like? Absolutely. I feel confident, and again, that's uncovering more values.
Would you want to go higher? The higher the better, the higher the chunk the better?
Yeah, because again, it's more vague. The more vague in that, I can fulfill those vague needs and wants. If she says, if she says, look, she says, what I really need is I need to fit in a size, 10, and it's got to be with this specific shoes, and it's got to be with that belt on that specific night, and I don't sell belts and shoes, I'm in trouble. All right? So she says, well, I just want to feel I look good in this dress. Then I'm going to ask her, which is another question, how are you going to know you look good in this dress? Right? How are you going to know? What's going to allow you to decide that this is the dress for you? Presupposition that this is the dress for you. Right? Listen to the language. Telling her what I want in a way that it compliments her.
And then they'll probably come back with, I see, blah, 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 or I feel, whatever, and then you can go.
Yeah, and then you're listening for the verbal predicates, right?
They'll tell me.
I look good in this. This tells me, my friends will tell me this looks good. I know I'm going to feel good in this. So that's right, you are going to feel good in this because your friends are going to tell you you look good. And I know when you look in the mirror, it's going to really make you, it's going to please you inside. And use all those predicates. Use all those modalities for her. All right, just light her up like a Christmas tree.
Couldn't you say, instead of saying, well, it wouldn't be another way to say it, wouldn't it be nice to finally satisfy that feeling?
Sure. I mean, I don't know. These are just the beginning of the questions. I don't know what you can, because you guys are so great linguistically now, that you can choose to put so much more into this. I'm just giving you a baseline for this. You want to be able to uncover the information and feed it back to them. These are just ways of feeding it back to them. The word imagine is very powerful, because anything I say after that, you have to go inside and do that. So Erica, imagine 6 months from now, or imagine, let's say the event was next weekend. So imagine Halloween that you're buying this dress. Having used that dress, having tried on the dress, and getting all those great feelings that you know you feel about feeling good in your dress, and your friends telling you that it really looks good, and especially your husband noticing.
Which, by the way, I don't have.
Well, okay, it doesn't matter. Thank you for clarifying that. So, husband noticing that how good you look in that. Knowing, here's the strong presupposition. Knowing you made the right decision. Knowing you made the right decision. That's important. Because everything they're going to do after they commit is going to justify logically they made the right decision. You presuppose it out in the future at the party. They feel good, they're talking, their friends are talking, their husband likes it, knowing you made the right decision, and brings them back to now, into the moment of deciding. They haven't made the decision yet. You are helping them decide in the future, because at some point, here's the thing.
Visualizing?
Yes. So imagine, that's a visual word. At some point, they're going to buy the dress, you hope, and they're going to be out in the future wearing the dress. And they're going to be talking to themselves, and their friends are going to be saying to their husband, all that's going to actually happen, because they just told you it's going to happen. All I'm doing is future pacing it and making it happen now. Which really is their evidence procedure of, I did the right thing. No matter what happens, my friends, my family, I made the right decision. Doesn't that feel great now? So you're taking it out in the future into some, you're taking out in the future to some subsequent event that hasn't happened yet, or subsequent time, and bringing it back into the moment, right before they make the decision, because everything, again, is about feelings. So doesn't that feel good now? Doesn't that feel great now? Yeah, it actually does. How am I going to argue with you? Because you just listed their criteria and told you're feeding it right back to them. You're going to say, no, I didn't really want to look good. I really didn't have a husband. I was just messing with you. Yeah, that could be true. They could do that, and you start the process over again, if that's what you choose. Right? Any questions so far? So you're all great salespeople now?
Got it. I remember this was a while ago at one of the meetups. You had mentioned how to leave a predicate, like VAK predicate voicemail. I don't know if you remember.
Same thing. If again, if you're selling over the phone, it's the same thing. I could, again, it depends. I don't know the context. You can use a visual word, use an auditory word, use a kinesthetic word.
No, I remember you threw all three at the same time.
Right. So, hey, Daniel, I was just wondering. Can you imagine us hanging out next Saturday night? I know you got that thing going on, but I'm just wondering if that's even possible. So really, why I'm on this phone call is to tell you that it's something that you really wanted. And I know that you talked to yourself about it and it could work, but just go inside and check, and just know it's the right decision. There's multiple words we can put in there. Just see, tell, feel. See, tell, feel. Or AD. Some people are AD.
Does that work when you're trying to get a date with a woman? You could say, let's just go inside and check about going to dinner with me. That's how good that feels.
Look, I'm not saying it's going to feel good for any reason.
Try building rapport first.
I'm not saying
Yeah. May not work on the first go-around, right?
your first mirror.
Stop.
Is there a Scarface?
Okay, so.
See, tell, feel, you said?
See, tell, feel. Use visual words. I see, imagine, clear, focused. Tell words, auditory words. I tell you, I heard. It resonates with me, sounds good to me. Feel words. kinesthetic words, that feels good, that it could get a good feeling inside. The AD words also, I understand, I get a sense of that. I can connect with that. I get a grasp of what you're talking about. I get a handle on it. Those are very kinesthetic words. If you email me, a couple of you haven't been here, and I'll send you what you guys have it in your book already. There's a list of certain predicates and certain words and certain phrases that you can just feed back to people and give you an awareness of how people talk and through those formulations, because really all that is they're communicating to you their internal world. That's all they're doing. They're communicating to you how they represent their world inside, and they're doing it through their words and their body language. If you feed back those words, you're modeling and you're matching their world inside. So you're matching that other 7% if you're in alignment with their physiology and their tonality. So my next project, because this is what I do for a living, is to set up a sales presentation, because that's what I do. So the books that we have over here, they're $20 each. The CDs are 20, and the Speak Up Power system that we just finished developing is $4.97. Although if you're interested, and I'd knock off over like 60% of it. So if you're interested, let me know. It'd be like $10 for the book and the CD, and then $197 for the Speak Up system. So I'm not to say that you're going to walk out of here with one. I'm not saying that. I don't want you to consider how that's going to serve you in the future, because not that you're going to remember all this information. Usually it's best if you read it and listen to it over and over again. I don't know how you're going to do that or not, or whether that's even possible, but you'll be able to decide that if it works for you.